Dolly Parton is running the Chicken Ranch, and Burt Reynolds is the county sheriff of Landville, the premiere of the musical comedy, The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. Next.
"1954. You don't get years like that anymore. It was my favorite year. Look at that Buick. See, that's what I'm talking about. In 1954, a Buick was a Buick. It didn't look like a Chevy, which looks like a Pontiac, which you can't tell apart from an Olds, like today.
Now, in 1898, Spain owned Cuba. It is for your own good, and if you can't make it, I can make you.
This guy's been stoned since 3rd grade.
Yeah, I'm registered in this class.
What class?
This is U.S. history. See this rope right there.
John Penn.
Hey, bud, what's your problem?
No problem at all. I think you know where the front office is.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High premieres Saturday, September 3rd on HBO.
Consumer Reports presents sunscreens. Which ones protect you best after you go in the water and don't cost a fortune? Find out on the show you can't afford to miss. Tuesday on HBO.
The plane, Firefox, the most devastating killing machine ever built. The man, Mitchell Gant, U.S. fighter pilot.
Gant, can you fly that plane?
Yeah, I can fly it.
The mission, steal Firefox. Clint Eastwood in one of the most incredible undercover operations in history, Firefox.
Don't touch that dial! HBO's got a sizzling lineup of movies for those hot August days and nights. First, Burt Reynolds and Dolly Parton add some spice to your summer fun with a down-home film full of dancing and fighting and loving.
I've loved you since I was 16 years old.
The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. The plane, Firefox.
If the Soviets can mass produce it, it will change the structure of our world.
The man, Mitchell Gant. The mission, steal Firefox.
Can you fly that plane? Really fly it?
Yeah, I can fly it. I'm the best there is.
Now, the chase begins. Clint Eastwood, Firefox. Then it's back to the oldest profession.
Pimps? Are you saying we should become pimps?
Love brokers! As Henry Winkler, Shelley Long, and Michael Keaton find out that people can have fun anywhere.
This is a morgue. You're partying in a morgue. A sick world.
Yeah, thank God.
Night Shift.
No!
Next, it's action and adventure as Willie Nelson and Gary Busey fight for survival in the Old West.
Find this Barbarossa and kill him.
Willie Nelson, the outlaw, the legend, Barbarossa. And speaking of outlaws,
Smile.
here's a bunch that'll steal your money and your hearts.
How long have you been a robber? 4'1".
Follow these diminutive desperados on a zany chase through history with Sean Connery and Monty Python's John Cleese and Michael Palin, Time Bandits. Then it's on to Greece, where Michael and Kathy are spending some private moments until they meet Lena, who changes the way they look at life and love. Summer Lovers. Rita's a streetwise woman in love. Bonnie's a sweet, shy girl in trouble. Together, they're the unlikeliest pair of best friends ever. Margot Kidder, Annie Potts, heartaches. But what are heartaches between friends?
Mary Catherine, you give me comfort. You make me laugh. You listen to me. Let's be friends.
Coming in September, Elizabeth Taylor and Carol Burnett in Between Friends, an HBO Premiere Films presentation. So give yourself a summer treat with the movies on HBO. The following feature has been rated R by the Motion Picture Association of America. It is intended for mature audiences, and parental discretion is advised. Home Box Office will show this feature only at night.
It was the nicest little whorehouse you ever saw. It lay about a mile outside the city limits, so everybody could feel real friendly. Sheriff Jack Roy Wallace picked it out for Miss Willa Jean in 1910, and she moved there with her girls from over the hardware store on Main Street.
Little house lay in the green Texas lake where the trees were as cool as fresh lemonade. Soft summer wind had a trace of perfume, and a fan was turning in every room. 20 fans were turning, they were turning. 20 fans were turning in every room. Fevers were burning, they were burning, and they had to have a way to cool down.
Right from the beginning, the little house was kind of special, like a home away from home. Miss Willa Jean put a piano in the parlor to sort of help break the ice. A feller could ask a girl to dance, or if he held back a little, she'd ask him. And pretty soon they'd get a little business going. $2 worth. It wasn't long before the place became one of the better-known pleasure palaces in all of Texas. So much so that the fellers who visited during World War I sent their sons back in World War II. The hospitality and friendliness never changed, and neither did Miss Willa Jean's strict set of rules. She liked her ladies, as she called them, to treat her customers real good, but never in an unladylike way. And she insisted that each girl check her gentleman for the clap and wash him off with soap and warm water. Some of the fellers claimed that that was the best part. It was only during the Hoover Depression that the little house had a spell of tough times. Miss Willa Jean put in a jukebox to spark up business, but it wasn't always easy in them days to come up with hard cash.
Well, you just keep that in the bag and I'll take it out back as soon as we're finished.
So for a while, as the story goes, the girls began accepting poultry in trade. One bird, one lay. And that's how the place got its name, the Chicken Ranch. Of course, if you grew up anywhere in Texas, you knew at an early age they was selling something out there, and it wasn't poultry. So, for over 3 generations, the Chicken Ranch went peacefully about its business, while the people here in Gilbert went about theirs. That is, until about 7 years ago. I was a deputy back then, working for Sheriff Ed Earl Dodd. He wanted me to remind you about your 2 o'clock appointment. That was right after I had lost the fried chicken franchise here in town, while Ed Earl had been sheriff ever since old Jack Roy Wallace retired. Everybody liked Ed Earl. especially Ed Earl.